High school is one of the strangest social experiments you'll ever be part of, because somehow everyone is a little insecure, and at the same time, quietly judging everyone else. No one really says it out loud, but you can feel it in the way people act, the way they talk, and even in the things they don't say. Very early on, high school begins to organize itself in a way no one officially planned. You start to notice different groups forming. The popular ones, the quieter ones, the people trying not to be noticed, and the ones trying very hard to be seen. And the strange part is, no one sat down to create these roles. There was no meeting, no announcement, no system put in place. And yet somehow, everyone just seems to understand where they stand. It's like an invisible leaderboard, one no one signed up for, but almost everyone is paying attention to. Now here's where things get more interesting. Most people in high school aren't fully being themselves yet. Not because they're pretending, but because they're still figuring out who they are. So instead, they experiment. You might try being the funny one, the quiet one, or the person who acts like they don't care. Even though you probably do care. Because high school isn't just a place where you learn subjects. It's a place where you start testing different versions of yourself, trying to see what fits and what doesn't. And sometimes, those experiments can get a little dramatic. When people hear peer pressure, they often imagine someone directly telling you what to do. But most of the time, it doesn't look like that. It's quieter, more subtle. It shows up as a thought. If I don't do this, I might not fit in. No one has to say anything for that feeling to exist. Because the pressure isn't always coming from people themselves, it's coming from the possibility of being excluded. And to your brain, that possibility feels like a serious threat. This part matters more than it seems. High school feels intense not just because of what's happening around you, but because of what's happening inside your brain. The parts responsible for decision-making and emotional control are still developing, which means experiences like embarrassment, rejection, or judgment don't just feel uncomfortable, they feel overwhelming. Something as small as saying "you too" to a waiter can feel like a life-ending moment, and then somehow replay in your head for days. Another thing you'll notice is how similar people start to become over time. The same slang, the same jokes, the same trends, even the same opinions begin to spread. This isn't because people can't think for themselves, it's because humans naturally adapt to their environment. Just like beliefs can spread, behavior spreads too. If you're surrounded by a certain way of acting long enough, you begin to pick it up without even realizing it. It's not a decision, it's a gradual shift. Here's something most people only realize after they leave. A lot of what feels incredibly important in high school doesn't carry the same weight later on. The roles you thought defined people were temporary. The labels weren't as accurate as they seemed. And the pressure you felt, it wasn't just yours. Even the people who looked the most confident were figuring things out in their own way. Because underneath all the personalities, the groups, and the performances, everyone was just trying to understand themselves. So high school isn't really about popularity, or fitting in, or getting everything right. It's about discovering who you are, and just as importantly, who you're not. Even if it doesn't feel like it while you're in it. And even if everyone around you seems like they already have everything figured out. High school feels confusing, because it is. But once you start to understand what's actually happening beneath the surface, it begins to make a little more sense. Not perfect sense, but enough. This is Mind in Lines, making sense of people. Kind of.